Hey, I'm Charli XCX and you're watching Records in My Life.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
Tired.
Are you tired?
Yes.
But you look like you have energy, though. You don't look that tired.
It's because I've got a great hair and makeup team. That's why.
Tell us about your latest release.
My latest album, it's called Charli. And I think it's my most personal album. I know like every single artist you ever spoken to has said that about their new album, but I definitely feel that about mine. I mean, you know, I've spoken about the normal topics that I speak about, including like love and partying and relationships, but also for the first time I've kind of delved into my mental health and my experience with anxiety and isolation, and that just kind of happened naturally. It wasn't really something I was planning on talking about, but it happened, and it felt really good to talk about it.
And tell us about some of the other artists that you collaborated with or producers on the record.
Yeah, I mean, I executive produced the album alongside A.G. Cook, who is a long-term collaborator of mine and somebody who I admire greatly, and we just have such a great connection together when it comes to creating music. And in terms of artists, I mean, there are so many features on the album, and I couldn't pick favorites. I mean, they're all my favorite. That's why they're on there. But some of the features include Christine and the Queens, who is so incredible to collaborate with because she's such a unique. I mean, every artist on the album, I believe, to be very unique and independent and individual, and that's why I wanted to collaborate with them. But yeah, Chris is somebody who, you know, we made a video together. We've performed on TV together. We've done a lot together since we made our song called Gone, and so I really love spending time with her. Same with Troye, same with Lizzo, same with everyone. So yeah,
who are all have really done well. I mean, the past couple of years, their solo careers have really
totally. I mean, they're all really incredible.
Do you have a favorite song on the new record or on the latest record?
I kind of go through cycles, you know. At the moment, like being on tour, it's fun to see like what the audience really reacts to, and they really love when I perform Click, which is a song with Tommy Cash and Kim Petras, and they also love a song called Official, which is kind of more down-tempo love song. So I like it when the crowd are into it, so those two are my favourites at the moment.
I'm sure the crowd will be into it. Sold out. I think it sold out a long time ago, so I'm sure.
I'm very excited to perform tonight.
And there's people lined up for a long time.
Yeah.
And what's, just out of curiosity, what city are you based out of these days, and how does it inspire you?
Yeah, I'm based predominantly in Los Angeles, but I also have a place in London, but I'm not spending that much time there at the moment. I like LA because for me, I feel I can be creative like 24/7 there, you know, and there are so many of my friends from London and collaborators from London who moved there to work. So I feel constantly inspired because I can just like call anyone at any time of day and write music. And also I'm very inspired by driving and cars, both like lyrically and also I do a lot of whenever I'm listening to music, it's often in a car. I don't really like put on music in my house.
That's fairly interesting.
I don't really listen to a lot of music. So the only place I really listen to music is in a car. And LA is a driving city, so that's kind of that's good for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't listen to music.
Does driving actually relaxes you? Because for a lot of people, it's kind of it's very stressful.
I mean, sometimes I'm not driving the car. Sometimes I'm just sitting in the back, which is a little bit bougie. But sometimes I'm driving it, and I do listen to music. Yeah, I listen to music a lot in cars.
What's the best music to listen to? I know there's a ton of answers, but what would be
my own
album to listen to when you're just driving?
Honestly, my album, really. Like,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's what I mean. I listen to when I'm recording and writing for a project. I really don't listen to any other music apart from my own. And I think actually that's the same for a lot of artists. When they're like in the zone and like figuring out things, like it's really exciting to listen to your demos back. So I listen to a lot of my own music in the car. Kind of narcissistic, I suppose.
That's a fantastic and honest answer. But I wanted to ask you again about, because a lot of people, you've collaborated with a lot of people in the past and you've written a lot of big songs. Give me a couple of albums from some of the folks that you have worked with, which you really, really, it doesn't have to be your favorite, as you alluded to before, but...
One of my favorite albums from people who I've collaborated with is Tommy Cash. His album, Yes, I think is brilliant and flawless. I think he is such a unique artist. Like, I don't know. I love his style. I love his music videos, which he directs. I love his Instagram. I love his flow. Like, he's really so smart, and he's like, he's on another level. You know, I see him as like kind of a performance artist genius as well as a rapper. And that album from start to finish is really amazing. So that is definitely one of my favorites. I also really like Kim Petras's EP, Clarity. My favorite song on it is the title track, which I think she sees as just like an intro, like an opener, but to me I'm like, wow, this is so good. Like, this is like, I don't know, she's really talented.
You've saved all the pets and all the family members. What album do you save? If you had one record to carry out with?
I would probably carry out Britney Spears' Blackout, because I think it's pop genius, and I love a lot of the production on that record. I think a lot of my favourite songs were produced by Danger, and I think some were produced by Bloodshy and Avant, who I think are like two incredible Swedish geniuses. Yeah, it's Britney, you know, she's an icon. It's my favourite Britney album, so I'll take that one.
First record you bought or streamed or downloaded?
First record I bought was Spice World by the Spice Girls. Yeah, classic.
Do you still listen to the record today?
I don't. I like the Spice Girls still. I love their aesthetic. And I think Two Become One is a brilliant pop song still. Some of the music is a little too like jazzy and happy for me now. But Two Become One and Mama, the slow jams, those are really good. Yeah.
Give us a recent discovery, which you've gravitated towards, which you were really into.
Recent discovery. I've known particularly one half of this duo for a while now, and their album is kind of recent, but 100 Gecs.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about them recently. It's pretty interesting.
It's hard, really hard. Laura Les and Dylan Brady, both super talented. Laura is a really, really incredible top liner. And Dylan, I also really like Dylan's solo stuff. It's really amazing. He has an EP where he's like on the cover in tie-dye. I can't remember what the EP is called. Love something.
Does that have that song Coming Down? Coming Down to Meet You on it?
Yeah, and it has the song Look What I Made For You, which I think is really cool.
It's pretty soulful stuff.
Yeah, in parts, but then it's also mad. It's like completely crazy. So I really like their collaboration project. I think it's really good.
Great. Thank you so much for doing this. We have two more quick questions. I really appreciate you being on the show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Weed, wine, or water for writing or listening to your favorite album?
Wine. Yeah. Wine, but it has to be really dry. Probably, if I'm being honest, I know you're going with the W's, but I would go for champagne instead. But I'll say wine because it's kind of closest.
And artists, living or dead? Who would you have a cup of coffee with?
Well, I recently read Please Kill Me, the book about kind of the formation of punk in the USA. And I found it to be, I mean, it's just a great book to read because it's like story after story after story after story. And I knew, a fair bit about punk, but I definitely was under the impression that punk was kind of like started by Malcolm McLaren and like, the UK is punk. But like, then I was reading this book and I found out a lot of information from, before then. And I mean, obviously I know Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground, but just kind of like learning about how far it went back and how Malcolm McLaren kind of stole it. Whatever, I digress. Iggy Pop, because the first few chapters of the book are about Iggy Pop and just how, I mean, he's so rock and roll. No one is rock and roll like Iggy Pop is rock and roll. So does Iggy Pop even want to have coffee? I don't know. Maybe he wants something wilder. Maybe he's like so clean and like health. Like maybe he wants to meditate. You know what I mean? He like went fully the other way.
Could be.
I feel like he might be that guy now. I don't know. I've been in the same room as him a few times, but I've never asked him if he meditates.
Oh my goodness, fantastic.
Well, from afar, being really starstruck. But yeah, so Iggy Pop.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We like to ask our guests for words of wisdom or advice.
For what?
General.
Just live
to people.
Life to the fullest, no regrets, party hard. Don't be ashamed of who you are. We're all going to die anyway.
Words to live by, for sure.
Great. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Want to do a quick?
Just here into this one. Hi, I'm Troye.
Can you take a quick shot?
Sure. Okay.
In the end. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.
And if you're really feeling it, please hit us up on Patreon. Cheers.
Is it okay right here?